It's a landmark case here in France. This Friday, the country's highest administrative court considering its first class action against the state, alleging racial profiling by police. 6 human rights groups argue that officers systematically discriminate during routine patrols, especially against young Arab and black men. For more, let's speak to our reporter, Claire Paquelin, standing by outside the court. Hello to you, Claire. Tell us a bit more, first of all, about what this case is about.
So we've got 6 non-governmental organisations, human rights groups, who have come forward, brought this lawsuit against the government, saying the government has not done enough work, denouncing the inaction, they call, of the government when it comes to racially biased profiling on the part of the police. So the argument is that the police stop and search generally young men, which they perceive to be either black or of Arabic origin, 20 times more than other members of the French population. That's according to a report which came out 5 years ago by the Defender of Human Rights here in France. That's a national institution. The issue is, which is very difficult, is that it is unlawful in France for the police to decide to stop and search someone based on the colour of their skin. But the law also says that police can stop and search someone if they think they're posing a danger to public order. So that's where it gets very tricky. Now, in this case, these human rights organisations are hoping that the government will be pushed by this court, the State Council, to do more, to bring in more concrete measures so that what they call racial profiling among the police is stamped out. Of course, when you speak to police unions, which I did a little earlier on today, their argument, and they've pushed hard against this, is that, well, there might be racism here and there, and some members of the police, there are always a few bad apples, it was said to me. It is not a generalised problem. It's not widespread. And a police union member also said to me recently, the police find themselves working in certain neighbourhoods which are deprived. Therefore, crime is often high, and often in those neighbourhoods, populations, black populations and populations of people of different ethnic origins, North African origins, happen to be high as well. So obviously the police finding themselves stopping and searching because they're working in these high crime neighbourhoods. That's what the police unions will tell you. But the French President Emmanuel Macron, he has come out and said, and he said this a few years ago and he said it again since, that it is intolerable that here in France, if your skin isn't white, you are seen by the police to be a problem factor.
Claire, this comes a couple of months after wide protests. What's the context with the police?
Certainly there are tensions with between the police and communities across France. We saw with the killing of the teenager Naël in Nanterre, just outside Paris, a few months ago by a police officer. The video, of course, was online, went viral, and that sparked a few days of major violent riots across France. Just last weekend, in various different French cities, there were demonstrations which some politicians took part in from the left. Some of them, they're saying that those demonstrations were against police violence, what they call police violence here in France. So this does come in a context of tension between the police and communities. Again, though, if you speak to policing unions, they will tell you that they're constantly getting accused of racism, of discrimination, of intolerance, and they will tell you that in their ranks they are diverse and that they have police officers from various different origins. But certainly this case today is a first, and the human rights organisations which have brought this lawsuit to the State Council are hoping that it will mean change in the future.